Good afternoon. The Educator Effectiveness Committee is called to order. May I please have a roll call?
Dr. Beebe? Here. Dr. Beebe is present. Ms. Bolke? Ms. Bolke is not present. Ms. Bradford?
Here.
Ms. Bradford is present. Mr. Garvey?
Here.
Mr. Garvey is present. Mr. Gio?
Present.
Mr. Gio is present. Ms. Harris?
Here.
Ms. Harris is present. Ms. Hill? Present. Ms. Hill is present. Dr. Moranci? Dr. Moranci is not present. Ms. Orange-Jones?
Present.
Ms. Orange-Jones is present. Mr. Romer? Here. Mr. Romer is present. Ms. Smith? Here. Ms. Smith is present. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I believe we have a point of personal privilege. Mr. Gio?
Thank you, Ms. Jones. About a month or so back, Ms. Pam Carey with the Families Helping Families reached out to me. She's with the Louisiana Gumbo program, and I've learned some about this. It's a program that the department has funded for about 20 years, and they sponsor about 200 to 300 students a year with physical disabilities to compete in different athletic games around the state, and they work their way through the system, and ultimately they work up to where there's a select group that are actually competing at the state level, I think some to the national level, and then they have other programs for those that make it that far up the ladder, which is quite an accomplishment. So we have Ms. Carey's here today. I've asked her to just give a high-level overview of the program, and I think we have 5 of the athletes here, and I'd ask you to come down if you would. And we'd like to hear a little bit about the program, and then we'll have a little ceremony and take a picture. And I guess for board members, I believe we have Shreveport represented, Ascension represented, let's see, Rapides, let's see, we have Prairieville, New Iberia, Shreveport, and we've had, there are 3 that could not make it, 1 from Metairie, 1 from Broussard, and 1 from Bossier City.
Wonderful.
I just want to let everybody know that it's been a while. Gumbo has been supported by the State Department of Education, first as a grant for 10 years and now as a contract. And I want to let everybody, it is a program for students with physical or visual disabilities. I've traveled all over the United States. There's no other program in the United States that has the connection with the State Department of Education like we do. And we have people all the time wanting to know, how do we do this? And, you know, I can't say anything except thank you to Miss Janice Frugier, who just retired, and all of the advocates at the Special Ed Department that got this started in 1985. And today, these young men that came today, we were talking to them, and they have been in the program since they were 5 years old. They've been participating in the Gumbo program since they were 5 years old. And once they become 12, 13, 14, they have the opportunity to be a mud bug, which is the state select team. And we give them the opportunity to go and compete at a larger arena, which this year will be the Oklahoma Endeavor Games, with many hundreds of other athletes with similar disabilities. So again, our main concern here is that we want to thank BESE Board and thank everybody with the State Department of Education for continuing to support this program because of all the things that it does for our kids. It really builds their character and self-esteem. Many of our kids have gone on, they're in college now. So it's been around a long time, and I just wanted mostly to say thank you.
Thank you very much for talking, Pam. Would a few of you, maybe 2 or 3, like to say anything, just share what it means to you? Introduce yourself, if you would. We have a future leader here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nicholas Batto. I currently attend New Iberia High School. I've been in the Gumbo program since I was 5 years old, and it's truly done a lot for me. If I had to put Gumbo in a word, support. This program has it's helped so much. Without it, I wouldn't be where I'm at, functionally with my disability, which is cerebral palsy, and competitively.
When he says competitively, Nicholas is being watched carefully by the U.S. Paralympics right now. And he is he's really reaching out to the year 2020. I mean, his goal is to be a Paralympic athlete. And again, if we have athletes in Louisiana that have that goal, they'll come through the Gumbo program. And we will help them reach out and get the resources that they need to become that athlete, because we're the gateway. We're the gateway to those, as well as to those that want to do it just for fun and recreation and to stay healthy and be active, because I mean, we're all about being active and staying healthy and all that. Well, the kids with disabilities need that also, and Gumbo helps them do that.
Thank you.
Does anybody else want to see? No? Matthew? Come on, Matthew. Oh, your name? Yeah.
No, you can speak. No, right here. Yeah, just speak to us. They'll hear you.
My name is Matthew Wallace. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm homeschooled. And Gumbo has literally been the most helpful thing with my disability, because there's no other program like it with my disability. And it has truly meant a lot to me, because it has gotten me, it has got my mind off my disability, like what I can't do and what I can do. And with Gumbo, I feel like that I can achieve a lot with Gumbo.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take. Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Nicholas Bado. Sean Alvarado. Congratulations, Sean. Thank you. Devon Allen. Matthew Wallace. Lawrence Marshall. Do you want a picture? Sure.
I want to say one more thing, because this wouldn't be possible without the support of the coaches. I can't take these guys someplace by myself. So we also have coaches that, again, go through a selection process. And today we have with us Coach Arlene Molaire from Ascension Parish, who'll be going with us to Oklahoma, and Miss Diana Gates from Caddo Parish that'll be going with them. And our team leader is Miss Melissa Brosette. So it takes a team to go.
Can't take the principal out of
I cannot. It is so hard.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. First item.
The consent agenda is ready for approval, adding items 3.1 through 3.3.
Okay, we have a move by Mr. Romer, a second by Mr. Garvey. No objections. Next item.
On page 1, item 2.1, consideration of the proposal regarding the practitioner teacher program at St. Bernard Parish Public Schools. The recommendation is to approve.
Okay, there's a move by Dr. Beebe.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Guillot. Is there any discussion on this item?
May I just provide a little bit of
Please.
context? There are, members, you're receiving a number of applications over the next 3 items on the agenda, and let me just describe what all of this entails. As you know, we have a program called Believe and Prepare, which is where local educators, primarily school systems, co-design or independently design preparation experiences to take responsibility for teacher development in the school. Essentially, we are trying to have teacher preparation occur within the 4 walls of the schoolhouse, not just somewhere else, and then trial by fire. And in most cases, this means working directly with a preparation program at a university or a nonprofit, primarily universities. In some cases, we're going to complement that by a situation where the district does its own. And we did a trial in a high-capacity district last year in St. Bernard under Superintendent Boche's leadership. And many of you have attended the forums where Superintendent Boche's staff has spoken about this. We think that among the now 30-some districts, of which, Dr. Beebe, I'm thankful that St. Martin is one, that are participating in various stages of this process, that there are 3 proposals that merit continued consideration or new consideration to do it themselves, in addition to the work they do with universities. Obviously, many of their teachers will continue to come through the university system. Those are St. Bernard, which is going to expand its program based on the successes of what they've done this year. And I really think it's one of the most well-articulated teacher development models that I've ever seen. We should be very proud of it, should encourage it. Secondly is Ascension Parish, which has had similar successes. If you look at every measure of success in our system, under Superintendent Peugeot, they've had similar successes and are one of the leading districts in our state. And third is Caddo. And Caddo, as you know, is under reasonably new leadership that Ms. Harris could attest to. But I'll tell you, one of the best turns in our state recently, and this hasn't gone reported, is that the leadership in our urban school systems, I believe, is at an all-time high. What I'm seeing out of Caddo with their turnaround zone, in the low-achieving schools in Alexandria, the curriculum work Superintendent Vidrine is doing. We have leadership in Baton Rouge and New Orleans that is new. On down the line, our big cities are stepping up to make really innovative changes. And we looked at Caddo's application and said, let's consider this for a 1-year provisional pilot, knowing the challenges that they have in Caddo, but also knowing the innovative spirit of leadership under Dr. Gorey and Keith Burton, whom I know many of you know quite well. So I wanted you to see these 3 as a package. We can take each of them independently and talk about them, but I wanted you to see them as part of a whole to empower educators such as Dr. Peugeot, Ms. Boche, Dr. Gorey, to take responsibility for educator development and to prepare their teachers in the classroom where the work happens under the tutelage of some of the finest teachers in the state. We're considering St. Bernard first, obviously, but I consider all of this part of one overall program. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. Are there any other discussion items for the board? Okay. Any objections to the item? Okay. Having none, the item passes. Next item.
Page 33, item 2.2, consideration of the proposal regarding the practitioner teacher program, alternative path to certification for the Ascension Parish Public School System. The recommendation is to approve.
Dr. Beebe? Second by Ms. Hill. Okay, we have 1 public comment. Patrice Pujol.
Good afternoon. Patrice Peugeot, Superintendent of Schools in Ascension Parish. So good to see you all again. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know how excited we are about this opportunity. We have been strongly committed to our turnaround zone and to the work of really providing high-quality teachers and high-quality instruction to our students who most need it and who have the most barriers to learning. This certification program is designed to really work with teachers, with people who want to become teachers and who want to serve in high poverty schools. So we'll be doing the work in our turnaround zone with the hope of really maintaining those teachers with the skills, the expertise that we know is necessary to serve these students well, and really having then a pipeline of teachers to continue to staff our schools. So we're really excited about the proposal. I think we have a track record of both innovation and productivity. And I have just fabulous people who are working in this program and who can provide the level of expertise needed in order to prepare new teachers into our profession well. So just hope that you'll see to approve it for us.
Thank you. Any discussion from the board? Dr. Beebe.
I just want to commend Superintendent Roche and Superintendent Pijo and the Caddo Superintendent for their leadership, taking the initiative, and certainly I read the proposals quite extensively, and I'm proud of your efforts, and hopefully that Superintendent White alluded to St. Martin being or will in the near future be a recipient of seed money to implement a similar program. And again, as I state repeatedly that we need to provide the support and assistance to our teachers, and certainly with in some situations the budget cuts at the university level, some programs are being eliminated, and we still have those needs within our school systems. Excuse me. So, I think to quote Superintendent Voce, she said in her presentation that we have to grow our own teachers. Well, in essence, this is a step in the right direction. So I look forward to your continued success, and with hopefully we'll have more school systems emulate those proposals, those actions.
Wonderful. Are there any objections to this item? Having none, the motion carries. Next item.
Next item on page 97, item 2.3, consideration of the proposal regarding the practitioner teacher program, alternative path to certification for the Caddo Parish School System. The recommendation is to approve.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Are there any public comment? I'm sorry. Ms. Harris, and it was seconded by Ms. Smith. Okay. Is there any discussion? Yes, please, Ms. Harris.
Of course, I just would like to commend Caddo and our leadership. They've done an exceptional job of putting together this plan, and I appreciate the board, vote, and I know that they will do an excellent job. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, wonderful. There are a few public cards here. I'm not sure if you wish to speak. Mary Nash Robinson. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Superintendent White. Let me just say before I start, Keith Burton lost his father yesterday. So please keep him in your prayers, he and his family in your prayers. Having worked the HR piece for Caddo since 2003, I can say to you that Caddo Parish faces a severe shortage of certified teachers, particularly in ELA, math, science, and special education. The shortages are most pronounced in our high needs areas, wherein it is increasingly difficult to find certified teachers who are willing to take on the challenges that come with struggling students. Our teacher shortage can be attributed to many reasons. One, the size of our district, competition from neighboring parishes with higher salaries, and the challenges of urban population and the extreme demands that have been placed on teachers by things such as Park and Common Core. Caddo Parish is one of the largest public school districts in Louisiana, with a diverse student population of approximately 40,000 plus. We have to hire, train, and maintain at least 3,500 teachers on a day-to-day basis. The sheer numbers of teachers require a major challenge. Compounding the issue of recruiting is the competition of those districts who can pay more money than we can. These parishes, however, lack the number of schools with high-need students that are, in some cases, a little bit more rural than we are. Currently, you all, Caddo has between 200 and 300 teachers hired each year, but these numbers, high as they are, do not sufficiently address the needs of our schools. Due to the limited pool of certified teachers, a large percentage of our schools are forced to hire non-certified teachers. This is particularly true in the high-need areas where over 1/3 of our schools are ranked. As of today, as of yesterday, as a matter of fact, the district still has 149 positions that are staffed by long-term subs. Adding to this problem is the lack of sufficient numbers of teachers in the critical core areas. In fact, in Caddo, more than 375 core classes are being taught by certified teachers who are teaching classes outside of their areas of certification due to the fact that we can't find certified folks in those areas. The need for certified teachers to serve students in Caddo is substantial. In fact, we think it is the most critical factor in student achievement results in the district. 15% of the core classes are being taught do not have highly qualified teachers actually teaching them. 45% of our schools have 2 or more substitutes in positions in which qualified or certified teachers could not be found. This is profound. Profound in that 80% of the schools with 3 or more long-term subs have SPS scores that are 60 or below. The data tells us that we have to do something. The Caddo Teacher Academy is a step in the right direction. Today we solicit, we need, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you. Casey Mignero.
Hi.
Hi. Please state your name further.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. I'm Casey Monero. I'm a first-year principal in Caddo Parish. The Caddo Teaching Academy is beneficial to University Elementary by providing an opportunity to substitute teachers and paraprofessionals who we employ that would not otherwise be able to advance their career. We often have paraprofessionals or long-term substitutes who are employed with us who teach very well but do not have the means to go further in their educational experiences. This often binds them to positions such as ISS facilitator or cafeteria monitor, which could in fact be holding them back from working with students in a more educational setting. Some of these individuals have been highly trained by all of our workshops or professional developments and are very effective at working with our students, but have to stay in their current positions because of lack of certifications. In our school, we have approximately 1,000 students, and we have 7 special education positions. 2 of our current positions are filled with teachers who could retire but have held off on retirement because they worry there's no one out there to take on their classes. They are literally scared to retire for fear of what will happen to their children. Would they have a permanent substitute for the rest of the school year? Would there be someone certified to take their place? These teachers work with very special students, such as severe, profound, and autistic children. And there are just very few extraordinary individuals who can work with this type of child and who like to take on this type of challenge. Another one of our positions is filled by an excellent special education teacher who is working on her master's degree. She is worried that she will not be able to advance in her career because she will have to leave her children, and she wants them to be in good hands, but whose? This teacher has a paraprofessional in her classroom right now who would be an excellent teacher of these children, especially because she has hands-on experience working with these children in this setting, but she does not have the certification to do it. She might be a good candidate for this program. And yet another one of our mild moderate positions has been filled this year by a long-term substitute who is doing a great job on the job. She is a classic candidate for a program like this. She has a degree, but it's just in the wrong field. She is a natural teacher, but a single parent who cannot afford to go back to work and get another degree. 45% of our Caddo schools have 2 or more permanent substitutes in positions in which certified teachers could not be found. And 80% of the schools with 3 or more long-term subs have SPS scores of 60 or below. I have teachers applying all the time for positions at my school, but none of these applicants are applying for special education, math, or science. These are just the areas that we need good teachers the most, and these are the areas where no one is applying to teach.
Please start wrapping up.
Okay.
No, you can finish your thought. You have like...
Oh, okay. Well, there's no doubt that highly effective teaching is the single most important way to help our children, and the Caddo Teaching Academy will help make sure that happens.
Thank you so much.
I'm curious, is Teach for America active in Caddo? Is that an option within?
I'm sorry, what?
Teach for America candidates, is that an option within Caddo now?
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Toluance Graham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tellance Graham, and I'm the principal of Caddo Middle Career and Technology School in Shreveport, Louisiana, Caddo Parish. It goes without saying that students perform better with highly qualified and highly effective teachers. Over the past 3 years in my school, we have not had the luxury of having a fully staff of highly qualified teachers. In fact, we've had an overabundance of long-term substitute teachers. In some cases, the long-term subs have been willing to go through the school-level PD and prove and become serviceable teachers. But it's the perception of the 90-90 schools that makes it very difficult to hire quality teachers. This is compounded when teachers look at the school and see it's a D or an F school. In a perfect world, the fact that a school is a D or an F school should mean that the best teachers need to be there. But well, we know it's not a perfect world, and schools with the lowest scores have the hardest time getting qualified teachers or even certified teachers. But at CMCTS, we have suffered through this problem of finding certified teachers for 3 years. But even with this problem, we have raised our school performance score 2 consecutive years and even becoming a top gain school this last year. But the number of teachers applying for jobs at my school is yet very low. In fact, the last 2 years, I've had 17 vacancies, and only 19 applicants have sent resumes or inquired about jobs at my school. Due to the small number of applicants, I've had to use long-term subs or even day-to-day substitutes to fill these positions. This has had a negative effect on the overall achievement of the students at my school. Although I have developed and maintained a professional development strategy for the substitute teachers, it takes months for them to get really comfortable teaching, and during that time, students are not receiving the best instruction. On top of that, when the year is over, the substitutes normally leave for another job, and the pattern begins again the next year. Although it's clear that the score of some subs are much lower than certified teachers, having subs get certified may change this dynamic. This year alone, 4 of my 26 teachers are long-term subs, which constitutes 15% of my staff, and those positions are 2 math, 1 science, and 1 special education. I have a group of 42 8th grade students that have not had a certified math teacher for 3 consecutive years. I have 110 8th grade students that have a certified science teacher for 2 consecutive years. That's 30% of my 8th grade students that have not had a certified math teacher in 3 years, and 78% of my 8th graders who have not had a certified science teacher in 2 years. If we look at the scores of just the 8th grade students that have not had a certified math teacher in 3 years, 92% of them scored non-proficient on the LEAP test the past 2 years, with an astounding 58% scoring at the ONSAT level. In science, for the 8th graders that have not had a certified science teacher for 2 consecutive years, 92% of them scored at the non-proficient level, with 76% of them scoring at the unsatisfactory level. It's imperative that we're able to find a new avenue to hire the best and brightest teachers for the students that need the most help. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff Roberts, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Jeff Roberts. I'm the principal of Southwood High School located in Caddo Parish. Southwood's current population is approximately 1,350 students, of which 69% of those are minority. We have seen an increase of 33.5 points in our SPS over the last 4 years. Our success and growth in the overall SPS is attributed to increases in standardized test scores, our ACT scores, and our graduation and cohort rates, none of which would have been possible without an outstanding faculty dedicated to the success of each and every student every day. As I complete my 5th year as a principal and begin to assemble my staff for the 2015-16 school year, one thing is evident: quality teachers are in short supply. Throughout the 2014-15 school year, we have operated below our staffing allocation, not by choice, but by necessity. Of my 48 regular ed core positions, 5 or 10% of those are currently filled with long-term subs. 1 or 2% is filled with a retiree who was gracious enough to return to the class for yet one more year. And 3 or 6% have been unfilled and remain unfilled all year. A total of 15% of the core classes on my campus are being taught by non-highly qualified teachers. The numbers worsen as we look at the special education allotment, which indicates 6 of 11 positions, or 55%, staffed by non-highly qualified teachers, 18% long-term subs, and 9% remain unfilled. Fortunately, we've been able to staff our EOC courses with certified and highly qualified teachers to maximize student achievement in those areas. However, other classes within math, science, ELA, and social studies have suffered. It's becoming more and more difficult to attract quality certified teachers. The pool of applicants is very shallow, as we all know, and in some areas has completely dried up. Due to challenges such as competition from neighboring districts and fewer people choosing to enter into education as a career choice, we find ourselves identifying personnel who possess attributes necessary to be an effective educator. Many of these applicants come to us as substitutes or as paraprofessionals. Once identified, these potential educators would greatly benefit from the Caddo Teaching Academy, which would develop the necessary skill sets and certifications within high-demand areas, thus creating a developmental pipeline of future educators to meet the needs of the students in Caddo Parish.
Please start.
I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Victor Manera.
Thank you. To the BESE board, to Superintendent White, as Superintendent mentioned, our leadership very strong in Caddo, and with Keith Burton and his father passing, I bring his words.
Would you state your name just for
And Victor Monero, Director of High Schools for Caddo.
Okay.
And so I bring greetings from and support from Keith Burton, Chief Academic Officer. The most important in student achievement is a highly effective teacher. Research suggests that when it comes to student performance on reading and math tests, a teacher has 2 to 3 times the impact than any other school-related factor. The need to find highly effective teachers in our state will continue to increase, particularly among high-need schools, which experience a greater turnover and vacancy rate. Caddo, like many districts in Louisiana, face a shortage of teachers. Too many students in our district receive instruction from substitutes because highly qualified and certified teachers cannot be found. Our transformation zone, made up of 10 historically most struggling schools, has a disproportionate number of over 35% of their teachers have 3 or fewer years of experience, and almost a quarter of them have 1 year or less of teaching experience. Teacher turnover in these schools vary dramatically, of up to 28%. This attrition equates to teacher vacancies that go unfilled for a year or even longer, even after dramatic steps have been taken. Students in these classrooms suffer, specifically in the areas of special education, mathematics, and science. During the last year, district leadership has searched for creative solutions to increase the number of certified teachers in our schools. The implication for Caddo is that recruitment as well as retention should be strategic, specific, and targeted. Since the fall, Caddo has broadened recruitment efforts. We have reduced the burdensome and sometimes bureaucratic application processes, created partnerships with local schools, colleges, universities, reviewed historical data to better plan for vacancies and teacher demand, involved our school principals earlier in recruitment and hiring, and also have submitted to you a Believe and Prepare application for your approval. Your approval will allow our district to offer a practitioner-teacher program to begin immediately addressing our needs. Candidates will complete a rigorous interview process and will be exposed to instructional pedagogy and practice, classroom management, as well as intense modules focusing on diverse needs of learners in reading, mathematics, assessment, and special education. Mentoring and instructional coaching will be provided throughout the year for feedback and support, and every component of our program will be supported and evaluated by concrete, measurable performance goals. Again, we want to thank Superintendent White and your staff for your support and this opportunity for the application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your comments. Okay. Is there any other board discussion on this item? Any objections? Oh, comment. Excuse me.
I want to thank these individuals for coming this afternoon to offer their personal testimony and certainly to cite the challenges that we have in many of our school systems. I can relate to what they are saying because one neighboring university, there are 90 pre-service teachers or teacher candidates. 7 parishes are vying for those individuals. There are critical shortage areas. So those of you who came today, I'm going to challenge you as the legislature moves forward with bills. There I know of 2 bills that will be proposed, one by Senator Long and one by Representative LaVos, to address the retiree return to work. And certainly we do have experienced people out there who may consider returning. I can speak to my experience in St. Martin Parish. We have approached retired teachers and they want no part of education. This is what we're getting. We're seeing a decline in enrollment, as you've commented. So, you know, fewer people going into education, we will have to grow our own. And so I applaud you again for taking these steps, and I wish you the best of luck. But we need to be actively engaged in the legislature to communicate to some legislators, because principals, you are tied to accountability, and you know, so there will be consequences if your school performance score does not improve. But I recognize your challenges. I am in the trenches, and oftentimes people can't see the forest for the trees. They lack the experiences, and so they kind of downplay what reality is. So again, I thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. To all of you for coming down from Caddo, do you anticipate that your long-term subs would probably be the ones that would be entering in this, or do you have any ideas about that? I just think that's an interesting topic to kind of talk about just for a second.
Just come forward. You may want to come forward and just speak into the microphone. And if you could just state your name for the record.
Sure. My name is Kathy Galland. I'm Director of Professional Development and Grants for Caddo Parish. We began with a praxis preparation program to help our employees pass, because to be in a PL program, you have to pass 2 portions of the praxis before you can get into a PL program. We had 93 people attend our interest meeting from our district, where they were paras, they were clerical, they were long-term subs that had a bachelor's degree, that had a 2.5, and needed the praxis exams to be able to go into a PL. And I just think it's an untapped resource that we're reaching out to.
So you're saying they were degreed, but they just weren't certified in education?
Correct.
And so y'all were working with them to get that certification. But I guess more so than just the retirees, and I know we're gonna have legislation to address that, but it's, it's more going to probably be the ones that have indicated an interest by becoming subs for long periods of time.
Correct. And our paras that have been in the classroom, and unfortunately the salaries they make with families they have, they can't always afford to go the college route to finish and get what they need.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck, and I applaud you for your efforts, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more board discussion? Any objections? Having none, the motion passes. Next item.
So on page 156, item 2.4, consideration of the proposal regarding a teacher leader endorsement program at new leaders. The recommendation is to approve.
Okay, thank you. And I please have a motion. Ms. Bradford, Mr. Gio, second. Is there any discussion on this item? Oh,
Just an endorsement is a formal recognition of the completion of a course of study. It's not the same as a certificate. It is just an acknowledgement by the state, a formal acknowledgement that this candidate has achieved a certain level of expertise, and we are allowing a provider, in this case, to provide such a qualification.
Thank you. Okay, and we have one card does not wish to speak at this time. Any other discussion on this item? Any objections? Having none, the motion passes. Next item.
Page 278, item 3.4, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching certificate appropriate to the credentials of Ms. Devonna Polk-Richard. The recommendation is to grant or deny.
Can I please have a motion?
I move to grant.
I second.
Okay. Motion by Dr. Beebe to grant, second by Ms. Hill. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I made some mistakes in my past.
Please speak into the mic a little bit.
I did make some mistakes in my past, to which I have completely reverted from that. In 2006, I started back by going to school and graduating from UL in Family and Consumer Science. Since then, I've received my master's degree in secondary education. I started substitute teaching in 2007. Then I went back and got my master's, I'm sorry. And once I did that, I started doing intervention in Iberia Parish. From there, I got on with Acadiana High School, and I've been teaching Family and Consumer Science. And I'm very able to relate with my students, and I think it's because of my past. The population of students, they talk to me, and they're comfortable with speaking with me. They don't realize why, but I know why, because I understand them, and I understand their parents.
Thank you for your comment. Any questions from our board? Okay. Any objections to the motion? Having none, the motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Next item.
So on page 313, item 3.5, consideration of a records review regarding the issuance of a Louisiana teaching certificate appropriate to the credentials of Miss Melanie Troxler. The recommendation is to grant or deny.
Make a motion to grant.
Okay, there's a motion to grant by Mr. Gio, second by Ms. Hill. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Melanie Troxler. 30 years ago.
Could you move, I'm so sorry, can you move the mic just a little bit closer?
Sure.
I'm so sorry.
That better? I'm
That
also
is-
nervous.
that is
That
better.
doesn't help.
It's okay.
30 years ago, I made some poor choices and got in a lot of trouble. I was very fortunate that when I was on probation for my crime, I was able to take advantage of the resources that were available to me and make some changes in my life and to move on. My husband and I moved to Savannah, Georgia, where I got my bachelor's degree and began teaching. Taught in Georgia for 12 years, then moved to Tennessee and taught for 2 years. Came home this summer, and back Louisiana, of course, is my home, and applied for a job, received it, started teaching, and then applied for my license, and of course, I wasn't aware that it wouldn't be granted. So I am currently teaching in a low-income, high-poverty school, which is about 60% Hispanic population, and I would like your support in allowing me to continue the job that I love, and that I think that I am able to use my past, as the former applicant said, and continue to do my life's work.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any questions from the board? Any objections to the motion? Okay, having none, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. Next item. Oh, okay. That concludes our agenda. The next meeting will, for the School Innovation Turnaround Committee, will begin at 1:30.
5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.